Hello, what's up YouTube? What's up world? What's up every other human being, every other child of God in this world? I just felt like making a video right now. You know, you go through life and you accomplish. You have to ask yourself, like, what are you chasing each day? At least I asked myself that. I got to a point where I realized that even no matter all the physical, no matter all the physical or properties that I gathered or wanted and stuff like that, I had come across large sums of money. I had acquired material things that I wanted. I had a marriage that I was satisfied with. And I remember one morning I woke up and I just realized, like, what is going on? Am I bored with life? Like, what, and along with some other drama, which is irrelevant to this video's subject, I realized that life is a gift, and since I'm still alive, I should appreciate it, and I'm not gonna have an attitude like, oh, I'm bored of life, or it's not good, or I'm ready to go, that type of thing. No, I'm happy for each day that I have. I'm happy to be here on earth. I look forward to going to heaven, assuming I have salvation through Christ. That's God's judgment. But I came to a point, so it's like, okay, so I was honestly and emotionally at a point where I was like, I wasn't depressed, but I was like, what? Like, I just didn't, I was like, I didn't know what to, I didn't know. And after some more, like I said, after some more drama, I finally realized that life is a gift. And the next thing that I realized was like, okay, so what do I want to do? Do I want to, pursue my dreams and my goals, which I do every day anyways? But even at that, it's like, I know I'm gonna die someday. I know I'm gonna die, and after that, if I have kids, I want them to be taken care of, or family, or whatever. Or, I would, if it's God's will, I would want to, leave. And that's where it gets into God's work. Like, so if you get at a point where you're like, oh, am I gonna die? Like, am I depressed? Like, not am I gonna die, but like, you feel like you're ready to die, or you feel like you're not afraid of death and you're kind of welcoming it, which is not, I wouldn't recommend it. Because it excuse me. So you realize that when you die, you're gonna face God if you believe in God. If you don't, I hope you do. I hope that the Holy Spirit comes to you and you receive salvation. If you think you just die and disappear or whatever, if you're into science, no disrespect, this definitely would be a religious video, Christian in specific, or Judeo-Christian. And so you get to a point, I don't know, maybe as a viewer you probably wouldn't be watching this video, but if you deal with stress or worry or anxiety about life, about what you're going to do in your life, about your accomplishments, about the future, even if it's just a couple weeks away, moving, jobs, relationships, all that, like, you have to put your relationship with God as a number one priority in order to sort all those things out. A Christian relationship with God doesn't mean you go to church 7 times a week. It doesn't mean you give up every fun habit that you have. There's a difference between a sinful habit, because you have to realize a lot of stuff is sin. To be on earth and live in perfect without any sin, I don't think it's possible. I'm pretty sure that the Christ is the only person ever that it is possible or has done it. So even as a baby, even as the biggest, most famous preacher in the world, he still lives in sin. He has sin. It's not, none of us are worthy of being the Christ. So you know, assuming you have God in your life, you have a relationship with God, but if you have other issues in your life that are causing you stress or worry, and this is the main focus of the video. So the first thing you do is go to scripture of Jesus's, you know, English translation of the word, of the Hebrew word, Jesus's teaching of, one of his teachings, he mentions, I don't know, it's the parts where he's talking about how the birds are fed and the animals are fed, I think. And then he says, why would you worry about anything tomorrow when you have your troubles today? So in general, he's kind of saying, like, don't worry about tomorrow. You know, focus on what's ahead of you. Focus on your life today. I'm not gonna go all extreme and be one of those people be like, you could die today. Like, you could die right now and not even, like, I don't really look at life that way. I look at it, if you live that type of life, you might die randomly. But like, I look at death as a good thing because you're passing on to God. And I look at it as something not that necessarily you would plan out, like a suicide, but something that you would either have an understanding with God that you wanted it to be unexpected. Like if you prayed your whole life, like, I want to die unexpected, I want to die in a car crash or a gunshot from behind, like, I imagine you probably would if you were in a relationship with God, because he would probably grant you that, an unexpected death. I don't want that. The way I look at death is I plan on getting old and growing closer with God and figuring out, you know, obviously I'm not in control of it, but I look at it as a journey with God, not a surprise from the devil. Now, if you're out fiddling with the devil, you know, getting into gunfights or robbing people or, you know, being violent with people who might retaliate, or like, what if you're putting yourself in that situation, or racing cars around people who don't want to race cars, you know, like involving other, you know, innocent people who don't want to be in the excitement, or in the, like, people die that way. And I'm not threatening anyone, but like, I've come close to death that way, being an idiot with other people's lives, messing with other people's lives. It came back to me, and I realized, whoa, I don't want that element in my life right now. And so then we're gonna go into semantics. So the scripture that I quoted is English. So King James Version, New Living Translation, easy to read version, American Standard Bible, all those English versions. What you have to remember is the English did a lot of evil stuff. The English, it imperialized a lot of continents. They enslaved a lot of people. They murdered a lot of people. They introduced, and when you, that's not to say an English person is a bad person. I have tons of English blood in me, and I know, you know, like, the English people in England stayed in England. If anything, the people in England are the ones who didn't go out and kill and conquer everybody. But you got to remember that the English language has that tied into it. When you hear the English language, to me, subliminally, unconsciously, you're hearing all that history, which would be, quote unquote, like white history. But it goes deeper than that, because white history would be all of Europe, which almost all of Europe owned slaves. So when you hear an English Bible, it's like, wait, what about King James? What about the people who enslaved everybody? What about their? And that's why sometimes, to me, when I hear English words that were originally Hebrew or Arabic, it sounds wrong. It sounds bad, because to a godly person, sometimes to hear that English, you know that the English did not do godly things. They did evil things. And so if that is something for you, you may want to look into like learning Hebrew or Latin or Arabic or Spanish or some other language that you feel more close to, so you could have a relationship with God regardless of white European history. And so Jesus says, don't worry about tomorrow when you have troubles today. So let's first crack into that first sentence. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry is a bad thing. All good thing comes from God. Now, your family can worry about you. Your loved ones can worry about you. Your friends can worry about you. But in reality, for you as a person to have a worry is not a good thing. To care about something or to be concerned and to be involved in it is not the same as being worried. If I heard that one of my friends is in trouble, I want to go help him. I'm concerned, I'm interested, I'm motivated. But if I'm just sitting here sweating, thinking about a test I have tomorrow or thinking about what my job or what my boss is going to say, it's not a good thing. I shouldn't be worrying about those things. I shouldn't be worrying about anything at all because I'm a child of God. And it's one thing for your family or friends to care about you or for me to care about my family and friends. It's not the same as your personal mental health, like to have a worry, like to wake up and be worried. I don't enjoy it in any sort of fashion. And I do believe that is a way for the devil to gather information and take advantage of people and et cetera, et cetera. It's a very common spirit in witchcraft is that of worry. And part of that I think is because when Adam and Eve first sinned against God, they were probably extremely worried about God finding out before he found out. So it's like they got tricked by the snake to eat the fruit of good, knowledge and evil, or good and evil knowledge. I don't remember exactly what it is. And I imagine in that time frame, Eve was worried about Adam. Adam was worried about Eve. Even Adam and Eve became worried about God, if he would smell them, if he would see them, if he would know that they ate it. Just the amount of worry from going from walking in the Garden of Eden with God to knowing that you just destroyed that trust is pretty intense. So worry, I don't see worry as being a good thing in a personal level, on a personal mental health level. So if Jesus tells us why be worried about tomorrow, just that breakdown of that sentence is like, why let the devil attack you about the future? And then he says, when you have your troubles today. So if you're sitting here panicking about my college or my career or my future or my past, my exes, my whatever it is, money, if it's causing you that much of stress and it's in the future, and you're a Christian or you're a God-seeking individual, I would recommend this exercise. And this is directly from Christ. This is from the Son of God. So, the scriptures are. So, why be worried about tomorrow? So right off the bat, get rid of that worry about tomorrow. Put your focus on today. What's going on today? What troubles? Ask yourself, as Jesus provoked in English, what troubles do you have today? And troubles sound like a bad thing, but you got to remember that the languages translate differently. So it's trouble in English is like you did something wrong, but it could also mean in a different language like it's something that you have to do. It's a task ahead of you. The speed bump that you're going to go over is trouble, but it's there. You're going to go over it regardless. It's like the language is different. And then you say, what troubles do I have today? Well, I have food and water. Me personally here right now today, I have food and water. I have some money in my pocket, which is not actually even needed for anything right now. I have a bed. I have a place to stay tonight. I have the electricity on. Like physically, naturally, I don't have any needs right now that are a trouble. If the refrigerator was getting empty and the drinking blessings, the beverages were getting low, I went and addressed that. I went to the store. Even though I had enough food to eat today, even though I wasn't even hungry, I took care of it early because that was one thing that struck my interest today. Other than that, most of it is living and enjoying life with God. I can't. Now, obviously, I have issues coming up that I have to deal with, but today, it's not. And it's not that I'm procrastinating or putting it off, because if it was an issue today, like if I knew that that today I was gonna need the money at a certain time, or if today I knew that I needed the money today, I would address it that way. I would figure it out. But that's the beautiful thing about God, is that you can appreciate the present and not be plagued by the scars of the past, and not be worried about the future. And if you have scars from the past that you're having a hard time with, it's one thing to have scars from the past. It's another thing to still be festering those wounds, and either A, continuing to go back to where you got the wounds from, or B, making the wounds worse for yourself. Because it's hard to heal from something if you're reintroducing yourself to it. So, but if you actually are someone who is like plagued by something by your past, just remember, it's done. God loved you at your worst. God loved you at your best, according to scriptures, according to all the gospel music I listen to. God, when everyone else, there's a song by Marvin Sapp that says, when everyone else saw the worst in me, you saw the best in me. So, and there's another one. It's not what I did. It's God loves me for who I am. I don't remember the exact song, but it's a beautiful song. And just remember, the past is the past. If you don't like it, don't do it again. Don't be around it again. That's why you don't like it. Because now you realize that you went through something that you did not like, not because you were afraid of it, not because it was better than you, not because they outsmarted you, or because they ousted you. No, you went through a situation that you decided you did not like, and you don't want to be a part of it. It doesn't mean you're never going to go party again. It doesn't mean you're never going to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend again. It doesn't mean you don't have sex or get high or drunk or get in a fight or argue or cuss or have a one-night stand. It doesn't mean any of that. But if you have something from your past that you don't like how it made you feel, why would you go back to any sort of it? And on top of that, don't let the devil. It's one thing to sit alone and think about yourself, or with a really close friend who you love or loves you, and talk about, hey, this happened. I don't like it. I don't want to do it again. I don't want it to happen to me again. I don't want it. And understand it and grow from it. And it's another thing to because that is you having remorse and what's the word? Sin. You turn from your sin, and you anyways, it's the word when you admit that you sinned and you turn from it. You admit it was a problem and you walked away from it. It's the difference of mastering sin. Mastering sin means you get a hold of your life and you realize, okay, might go to the club night that night. I might, see this girl. I might smoke a little here, but the sin is not gonna control my life to the point I don't have a relationship with God. Or my hobbies, moderation. At that point, you even get away from it as being labeled as sin. You're walking into the peace and the glory of the Holy Spirit, where you enjoy your life. So there's a difference between looking at your own past and being like, I want to change it, or I want to do better, or I want to be different, or heal, or get away, or forget, or whatever, and dealing with those emotions and growing from them and using them to push you away from something that you don't like. Not that someone else is trying to take away from you, not that you're not good enough for, not that you beat you or defeated you, something you don't want. You took a drink of something you don't want, you're not going to drink again. You were in a situation that was toxic, you don't like it, but and you realizing that and growing and talking through it, or talking to yourself through it, praying through it, whatever, is not the same as receiving demonic attacks. Because if someone sends a demonic attack of accusation or guilt, no one wants that. No one wants to be in their own mental space and receive a demonic attack of guilt or accusation and have to relive their shame or relive their pain at the benefit of Satan's kingdom. No. So you have to realize that's what they are. If you really want to get into it, you think about what type of spirit it is. What just hit me? That wasn't me. That wasn't organic. That wasn't my relationship with God. That was a bad thing, it's from the devil. It's a bad thought. You're not cursing anybody. You're not looking down on people. You're not, out there talking trash or looking for someone to take it. No, you're just sitting there or driving or whatever, and all of a sudden this, and you're like, whoa, okay, that's a demonic force. What now? Am I being accused? Do I feel guilty? Is it a sexual spirit? Is it a manipulative spirit? Is it a violent spirit? Am I weak? Did someone drive next to me and all of a sudden I feel so weak and small because this person is carrying a violent spirit? Well, if it's attacking you about your past with guilt and accusation or whatever, you could just tell yourself in your head, dude, it's in the past. It's over. There's nothing anyone can do about it, and I'm here today. And God tells me I'm who I am today. That's the past. I have salvation. I have love. I'm not holding any grudges against anyone. I am me today as a child of God. That may be the easiest. Because then you're going to tell yourself the truth. You're not going to listen to the devil's lies. Oh, you're this, you're that. You're dirty, you're broken. You are a liar. You did this, you stole, you cheated. You were the one who lied. You were the lesser one. You were the weak. All that. You remind yourself, no, that's not true. I'm strong. Look in the mirror. I'm strong. I'm confident. I'm a beautiful person. I'm a smart person. I'm a confident person. I'm a child of God. You're not stepping on anybody. You're reassuring who you are in God and breaking the devil's strings on your face, on your mind, and on your body, the muscles and the thoughts. And if it just reminding you of the truth is good enough for you, then continue on with that. There's another strategy, which would be really thinking what type of spirit it is and figuring out and rebuking it in that fashion. The only problem with that is it can turn into a whole nother scenario where you're like a spirit detective. Oh, what type of spirit is that? What type of this, that, what is it? And who's this and that? And then it becomes, it's like you're more concerned with trying to figure out Satan than having a relationship with God, because you have to remember, God has already defeated Satan. Satan is defeated. The battle's over. For him to deceive mankind and think that there's some type of, he's really just waiting to watch. He's gonna for Satan to be cast out of, for Lucifer to be cast out of heaven, totally rejected and cursed as Satan, and given the promise that he'll be cast into the lake of fire. I imagine, and given the fact that A, he's been to heaven before, he came from heaven, and B, he's been on earth longer than any of us, and longer than any of the animals, besides their own generational folklore and stories that the animals, habits and instincts that they pass to each other. I can't think of a single animal that's been alive the whole existence of earth as long as Satan has been stuck here, because when he changed to Satan, from Lucifer to Satan, when he was cursed by God. So for Satan to be stuck here, knowing that he'll never get back to heaven, knowing how much better heaven is than earth, and he's stuck on earth, so he's stuck in a place with less, because the reason heaven is so good is because God. And the reason earth is so good is because God. And the reason hell is so miserable is because it's separation from God. It's it's suffocation. It's, from my opinion, my perception, it's suffocation, it's starvation, it's bloating, it's confusion, it's uncomfortability, it's loss of confidence, it's deception, it's getting stabbed in the back, it's getting jumped, it's getting betrayed by everyone around you. And it's looking in your pocket when there's no money there and you thought you had $100. It's going up to there's no, in my personal belief, there's no human that can in existence that can possibly say I would enjoy hell for eternity. Now, it's one thing to say I had a supernatural experience, or I had an experience where I felt like I visited hell or I went to heaven. That's different. God is supernatural. God is the creator of the supernatural world. To appreciate the supernatural world is not the same as saying, I'm not afraid to go to hell for eternity, because I don't want to. I've been to prison. I've been jumped. I've been beat up. I've been homeless, and I don't want to go to hell. I want to go to heaven. I want to go to heaven when I die. No doubt in my body. And so for Satan to be, he went from being in heaven, which is the perfect place, and thinking and gathering other angels. This is my studies, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Gathering other angels to try to revolt against God, to prove with the other angels that they were equal to God for whatever. I don't understand. Angels were explained to me as like a whole different species. There's God, there's us humans, and then there's angels. And they're like completely, it's a whole nother, they're not humans and they're not animals and they're not God, they're angels. And that's the way it was explained to me. And and according to study, Satan was originally an angel, and all his demons and followers were also angels, and they got kicked out for what they did. And for them to go from the best place you could possibly exist in the presence of God to go to earth, where it's still pretty freaking good for all of us, and for them to know they're never going back to heaven. In fact, they have a promise of something even worse than what they're in now. That's like going from, oh, we're going to take the Mercedes, we're going to take the Porsche out, we're going to take the Bentley out. We're going to take the Bentley out and go to the store. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we're taking the bus. Cancel the plans. The parents are staying at home. Kids, if you want to go, take the bus. No. Oh, and you got to take the toddlers. You got to watch the toddlers too. Take the bus. Oh, man, we wanted to go. Oh, cancel that. You're walking. If you want to go, you got to walk. And it's like, some people love to walk, but it's for the sake of the parable. It's like it keeps getting worse for them. And so for them to be on earth now, awaiting hell, and have the opportunity to take a human life who still has the potential to be in God's good presence, when Satan does not. From my understanding, he does not. So it's like he knows, he's been to heaven, he's been on earth longer than us. I want to say like he knows more about it than us, but in reality he doesn't, because our knowledge comes from God, and God will always be superior to Satan. So it is possible, yes, that Satan would, in my opinion, know more than a human being, almost every common human being. But the human being who looks to Christ and looks to God for knowledge and wisdom will be superior to Satan, because Satan is familiar with angels. Satan's familiar with heaven. Satan's been on earth. He knows all the tricks and the trades of money and time and construction and building and government and superiority and language and land and all this different stuff. He's familiar. To him, it's probably like a played out checkers game. And but he knows. So for him to be able to mislead these Lamb of God, these children of God, and make them believe, oh, you're going to be royalty on earth. You're going to be, this amazing, or give them just enough to be happy with following him, and think that their life is, be happy with their life on earth in order for him to deliver them into hell. Because then he gets to watch them suffer. So he gets to watch something, that still has the love of God in it. It's a creation of God. One of these a cute little puppy, cute little kitten, or, oh, there's one of the children of God. Oh, but that's a stupid child. He can be misled easily. And not to mention, we can make him burn in hell on earth or go to hell for eternity. Oh, we just have to convince him of these lies and this, that. And the human being thinks that they're getting the golden ticket to whatever. And they've got all these supernatural powers or communications or, hot connections or whatever. Because that's what it's really like a carrot dangling in front of and the end result would be hell. The wages of sin are death. But I mean, that's the way I see it. That's why he's, and the sad thing about it is, I think that's why God allows it to happen. Not like the Satanist theory, like, oh, God allowed this evil to happen because no. I'm saying like God allows Satan to sort people out on earth, because God doesn't want that energy back in heaven. If God knows that these people are possibly gonna rise against him like Satan did, and they're gonna follow Satan on earth, then why would God want to have to deal with another mutiny or another problem? So the main idea of this video was dealing with worry and stress, and about the future and the past, and just remembering, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry. Rebuke that spirit of worry. Cast it away to a place known only to God, not even by Christ. Cast away that spirit of worry. Think about your troubles today. What troubles do you have today? Do you need to get a job? Do you need to get a girlfriend? Do you need to figure out what you're going to do for school? Do you need to contact someone that you miss? Do you need to go to the doctor? Do you need to break it? Are you in a toxic relationship where you think the person's cheating all the time, and do you need to end it? Do you need to figure it out? Like, do you need food? Do you need water? Do you feel like doing drugs or alcohol? Like, do you feel like what is your trouble today? And that will, in my opinion, that will greatly change your life. Instead of going through your life thinking about what you're going to do next year or next month, or what career change you're going to make, or what car you're going to buy, or you go through your day really being yourself, and you can discover your hobbies and your gifts and your talents and your maybe even your purpose for God in your life, and maybe even, quote unquote, your destiny. I would say more chosen purpose in your life, like the potential, what God has offering you for your life, instead of being trapped by the systems of the world. And no hate on any human life here, but just this is just the nature of the beast, and that whole Satan conversation we're having. You won't be influenced by the money, careers. It's just like it's just you're born into like a track of mind. Like, I need to go to school. I need to eat here. I need to eat this. I need to go here. I need to have this and this and be acceptable here. And I need to do this for this person's standard. No, if you're an adult and you live not dependent on other people, it's your life, it's your choices. Remember the 10 commandments. Remember the general principles and commandments of God and love and what you want to do. Don't be trapped by the world and its systems. Be a free alien in the world that God created you to be.